Hey YouTube, it is I, Zach Manor, and guys, I have joined another draft league. My own draft league. Yes, I've made a draft league because I couldn't find any Wi-Fi leagues that piqued my interest. The only Wi-Fi leagues I saw, there's one I think I found that was a doubles draft league, and I'm more of a singles player, and I didn't want to do a showdown league, so I decided to make my own. I want to thank all the admins. I want to thank Nick, King, and Silverhawk for helping me out with the server, helping me out with the dog, helping me get members of the league. So thank you all so much for the help. So this league is pretty similar to the Shuckle Premier League, or if you've been watching my channel, you'll know the ODL, the Ogre Pawn Draft League, which is very similar to the ZDL, the league that I made, the Zarude Draft League. So, what is the difference between the ZDL and the ODL, or the Shuckle Premier League? Well, the ODL does follow the Shuckle Premier format to a T, but I adjusted some tiers, unbanned some Pokemon, lowered points, allowed some more Terra Captains, just to spice things up a little bit, make it more fun, and of course, I had to unban Pecharunt, the GOAT, because who doesn't want Pecharunt, right? It's such a cool mon. But let's talk about my draft. So, I was gonna draft Pecharunt for this season, but I didn't want to pick it first, and also my homie King told me he wanted it, so I said, "All right, I'll let you have it. I don't need it." So my first pick was gonna be Great Tusk, and of course, it gets taken. First pick, because I'm third pick. I should have mentioned this before. I am the third pick of the league, so I was pretty confident I was gonna get Great Tusk, and then I just see immediately gets taken. So then I'm like, okay, I'll get her Shifu Rapid Strike, which I unbanned. I really wanted it. I love her Shifu. Her Shifu was one of my favorite Gen 8 Pokemon. I used it so much in Gen 8 Showdown days when I was addicted to playing Showdown all day. I would use Urshifu on every team. So I'm like, okay, Urshifu, and then it gets taken. So I have to settle for my favorite starter, Meowscarada, my first pick. Now, Meowscarada is fast, strong, it's super versatile. It can be physical, it can be special, it gets hazards, it gets trick room, which I did not know, which is so cool. It also gets like grassy glide, so if I was fighting like a Rillaboom team, maybe I could run like a grassy seed. I don't know. That sounds fun. It also gets cool moves like Charm. It gets Sucker Punch for priority, Taunt, and Trick. This mon is just so versatile. And it is, of course, one of my favorite starters. If not my favorite. Definitely my favorite Gen 9 starter. We also do got the Protean ability, so this mon is just so good. Now, I don't get a pick for a while. You know, all the second picks, I mean, obviously, Deoxys Speed was taken, Palafin was taken, those are givens. Gouging Fire was taken, and Walking Wake, who I actually wanted to draft second because I didn't want a Demon Sun team being created, but it happened. It happened either way. Dragapult was taken, Darkrai was taken, but there is one Pokemon that I'm so glad wasn't taken, and that was Kyurem. It was between Kyurem and Baxcalibur, but I really wanted a versatile mixed attacker Pokemon, so I picked myself up Kyurem. This mon is just super good mixed attacker, has insane HP, and has pretty good bulk. So this Pokemon is so good. I think it's underrated. It gets Dragon Dance. It can be mixed attacking. It can have choice specs with freeze dry. It could be even like choice band. I could see choice band set being cool. This thing gets such a good move pool with Earth Power, Flash Cannon. It gets dual screens. It gets Weather Ball. Glaciate's kind of useless, but maybe on like a super bulky Kyurem, Glaciate could be good. It gets Sunny Day, Rain Dance, and Snowscape. So I could use a Snowscape to get the weather, so I get more bulk. What else does this thing get? I mean, yeah, it gets Psychic. It just has such a vast move pool, as great stats, and I feel like it fits with my Meowscarada really well. These are just both strong offensive Pokemon that can do multiple things. And now my third pick. I'll be honest, my original pick was Iron Boulder. But then I realized, spoiler alert, I had a lot of matching weaknesses. So I had to, I said, I don't have a great matchup. I'm going to drop Iron Boulder. and I got a trade. I traded with Silverhawk. I gave it Iron Boulder for Lando T. Like, okay, I got Lando T, and then I get a ping on my phone. I just got home from school. I'm on call with my friends. I was on call with actually a couple other coaches in the league, and I get told, he's like, "Yo, Great Tuster got dropped." I immediately said, "What? You didn't tell me this?" I run. I go on Discord. I immediately say, "Okay, drop in Lando T, and drop in my 2-point Pokemon that I picked, Kamala." And I picked up Great Tusk as my third pick. So, I mean, I guess technically it isn't my third pick, but it's my third pick. I guess, I don't know. The fact that this thing got dropped, one of the best rapid spinners in the league, if not the best rapid spinner, it's a fighting ground type. I wanted this type. I needed both of these types on my team, and this Pokemon gives me both. So it's perfect. It can run bulk up sets, it can run AV. This mon is so good. It gets such weird special coverage. I mean, obviously, like, it has horrible special. Why does this thing get Size Shock? Maybe for like Avalug. Wait. Oh wait, never mind. Wait, no, this wouldn't make sense. For like Chansey. Well, okay, well this would make sense on this Pokemon, but you gotta cook. If there's something with a lot of, this thing got Psychic. Be better Pokemon. But this thing just gets Headlong, one of the best ground moves in the game. It gets CC, Bulk Up. It gets Rapid Spin, so I can even like increase my speed. I can have a booster, which I can boost my attack, my defense, speed. You can probably do a speed booster. I probably wouldn't do that though, because I think having bulk and attack is more important, especially on this Pokemon, because this Pokemon's so bulky on the physical side. This thing is a physical tank. This thing is a tank. And it just gets the coverage I need. So, and also it's the best rapid spinner. So, of course, I couldn't pass up on the opportunity. Now, my fourth pick. Now, I actually had a very, very difficult time picking my fourth pick. I really wanted to get a certain Terra Captain, Pheasantipity, so bad, because I got unbanned, and I'm like, please. But I didn't have Great Tusk at the time. I had Iron Boulder, so I'm like, oh, I need a defensive Pokemon. So I'm really happy I picked this Pokemon. Don't get me wrong. I got Vaporeon. Vaporeon is so bulky and it's strong. Its Spadef is good and his defense is okay. This Pokemon gets Wish. I really like Wish. It does get Baton Pass. It gets Haze. It gets Acid Armor, so I can be really annoying. It gets Stored Power. It gets Yawn, which Yawn is super good. It gets Whirlpool. And like with this thing, I can actually run like offensive. I feel like with Alola Mola, I can't run offensive really. So this is cool because I can run both defensive and offensive, which is what I like about Vaporeon. Also, Water Absorb so useful just for tanking those water moves. Now, my fifth pick. Again, I was gonna pick Positivity this round, but my judgment got kind of clouded. I said, "Ah, man, I think this Pokemon's gonna get taken. I can't believe this Pokemon's still on the board. I have to pick it up." And I did. I got Iron Moth. Iron Moth is like, look at this. Look at this special attack. 140? This thing is still on the board. It's fast. You can run a booster energy. It gets freaking every coverage move ever. It gets Overheat. Like, Jesus, this thing gets T-Spikes. This thing gets fucking everything. Like, it gets Sludge Wave plus Fiery Dance, which hits so much. D-Gleam for dragons? Like, what? Energy Ball for waters? Discharge for Pelipper? Flash Cannon for fairies? I mean, it has Sludge Wave, but, um, I don't know what fairies would resist poison, but, we got Flash Cannon, we got Meteor Beam. Like, this Pokemon seems so fun. You can also run a more bulky with Morning Sun, as it has pretty good Speed F and pretty alright HP. This Pokemon's just fast, strong, and I'm honestly surprised it wasn't taken, so I had to pick it up. Now, I think of Terra Captains around this stage, and unfortunately, I didn't get the Terra Cap I wanted. I wanted Pheasantipity, and it got taken. Like, I was disappointed in the moment, but honestly, I'm kind of happy it got taken, because I got Emboar originally, and then of course I got Great Tusk, and I'm like, well, I don't really need Emboar anymore. I tried trading. I begged for Pheasantipity, went on my knees for it. Got a no, no, no. Totally understandable though. That mon is a demon. And then I asked for Kilowattrel, and I got a no, which is understandable. Kilowattrel is really good. I respect it. Like, I can't complain. I got I got Iron Moth 5th pick, okay? I can't be complaining right now. So, I was like, what other Terra Captains are on the board? And then I noticed Venomoth wasn't picked, and I'm like, this one has crappy stats. There's no way this Pokemon would be good, but I mean, hey, it gets Quiver Dance. Might as well try it, right? So, I just decided, hey, why not get Venomoth? You know, this Pokemon has a horrid stats, but it gets Tinted Lens and Quiver Dance. This Pokemon can't be that bad, right? So let's hope I can put in work. If this Pokemon doesn't really do anything, I'm probably just going to drop it for something else. There are other Terra Captains still left on the board that I wouldn't mind picking up, or if a Pheasant Dipty gets dropped, I might splurge on that because I've been dying of wanting to use that Terra Captain. And if I'm in another draft league, I'm sure me talking about this now, I'm probably gonna get sniped. But I want that mon so bad. One day I'll get to use it. One day I'll get to use Terra Pheasantipity, and my day will be made. But hey, it's only my second draft league, you know. I can't use all the things I want. I can't get all the picks I want. But let's talk about what this demon can do, okay? Quiver Dance and Bug Buzz. And you're like, why the heck Bug move? This move makes it so Pokemon attacks that are not very effective on a target deal double damage. So pretty much Bug Buzz against a Steel type will deal normal damage. It'll deal neutral. So I could pretty much hit everything with this move. There's a few quad resists, but there's not that many that quad resist Bug. And even those that do will likely get hit by coverage from Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave. I can also put things to sleep with Sleep Powder, which is insane. There's also like I could also do like Venoshock stuff if I run T-Spikes on this Pokemon or T-Spikes on Iron Moth. This Mon can do so much. And also, Terra Captain. This thing can also Terra. So the 3 Terras I picked are Terra Bug, Terra Water, and Terra Fairy. Now, I was questioning the Fairy choice. I just said, oh, well, Water and Fairy, 2 best defensive typings. And I was going to pick Poison, but I wanted to get a Terra that could resist the ground types. Because I think that's valuable. And I think the Bug Terra, I mean, obviously they see it coming, but you know, I feel like, or like they know I have it, but I feel like it's like the least expected Terra, and I feel like it could be cool surprise. Like Terra Bug sounds interesting. Now, I was gonna have Terra Dark, and especially after looking at my first 2 matches, I kind of wish I did pick Terra Dark. But obviously, I wouldn't have known my matchups, right? So I just had to hope and pray that I wouldn't get literally the 2 teams. Literally, my first 2 matchups, Terra Dark Venomoth would have been so good. Like, I'll spoil it right now. My week 2 match, I'm literally fighting Spam. And week 1, I'm fighting... Well, I mean, I don't know how good Terra... I think Terra Dark is more situational in that game. But I'm fighting a Prankster Pokemon. Prankster Thunderwave. And I really wish I could have Terra Dark to prevent that. That'd be awesome. That'd be exactly what I dream of. So, my 7th Pokemon. I had to pick my next Terra Captain. And I got my boy, Vikavolt. Now, this Pokemon is so cool. This thing is a nuke. Stronger than Iron Moth for 6 points. Huh. It also gets Sticky Web, which... Does Venomoth... I don't think Venomoth gets Sticky Webs, right? Yeah, no. If this thing got Sticky Webs, oh my god. That'd be insane. But this thing is so strong that I don't even need to even run investment all the time. Like, that's what's so good about this Pokemon. I don't need to run, like, too much investment. I can focus on the bulk. I don't need speed, because this thing's already slow. But Sticky Webs helps my team. I feel like with everything being slowed down, I could afford to run Specs Moth, Specs Kyurem. I don't need Scarf. So Vikavolt with the webs is so helpful. And the 3 Terras I picked were Electric, Water, and Steel. Pretty standard. I originally had Terra Ice because of Bolt Beam, but I'm like, well, Terra Ice is kind of a meh typing. So I just picked Terra Water because Water is just a good defensive typing. So, you know, gotta give it up to the water type. And Bug does beat the grass types, and the electric, well, if I don't Terra, then I resist electric, so. This thing pretty much gets everything I would want. It gets Volt Switch, Bug Buzz. It also gets Baton Pass if I need to switch against a ground type. It doesn't have great physical attack, but it does have good physical moves in Crunch and Poison Jab. And Lunge is also nice on a bulkier Pokemon. I might want to run Lunge. It does get T-Wave, and also especially the Sticky Webs. This is the key reason I picked this Pokemon. I was originally going to get Belly Bolt as my Electric Terror Captain, but it got picked round 2, so I'm like, well, okay, I gotta accept defeat this time. I'll get it another time. Plus, I think that Vikavolt better pairs this team. I think webs with this team helps a lot. So that's why I picked it. So our next Pokemon. Now, I honestly had a toughio time. And after Vikavolt, I was like questioning everything. I was like, oh man, my points are like Ganio, Ganio, Ganio. I didn't have too many points left, and I felt like I still needed more. I needed more points. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh man. I wish I could have like one more point because I really wanted to get like Keldeo. I don't know why I wanted to draft Keldeo so bad, but it was like in my old draft plan and all this. So, my next pick, my eighth pick. Is it my eighth pick? Yeah, I think it's my eighth pick. Is Hatterene. Now, I actually picked Hatterene before my Terra Captains. I totally forgot I even drafted this Pokemon because I've been doing preps for week 1, so I like literally didn't consider Hatterene at all. So I was just, and also I had Hatterene on my other draft, so I was like, oh, right, Hatterene. I was like confused why I only had 7 Pokemon. I was like, wait, what? So yes, I also drafted Hatterene. I drafted this before I drafted my Terra Captains. Because this Pokemon is a fairy type. I wanted a fairy, and Hat's just one of my favorite Pokemon. It's strong, it's bulky, it gets Trick Room, you know, the usual. You know, I talked about why I drafted this last time. This Pokemon is a demon. It just gets Psychic Fairy coverage, it gets Misty Fire Nuzzle. It's just so great. Okay, now my next Pokemon. Now I have the draft in order. Hatterene should be before Venomoth. Sorry, I totally forgot I even drafted this thing because I've been doing week 1 preps these last couple days. And not couple days, like one day. I spent like 5 to 6 hours doing week 1 preps yesterday because I know I need to play my battle soon. So I'm like, crap, I gotta prep. And Hatterene I didn't even consider because I know that my opponent, when I found out my opponent, I knew he would expect Hat. So I had to do everything I could not to bring it because let's just say he's a good friend of mine and I've used Hat about 9,422 times against him. So alright, well, my next Pokemon I drafted. I originally had Scizor on my team, but I was still, like, scared of Earthquake, and also I did not want any more fire weaknesses, because I had all these bugs, even though this next Pokemon's weak to fire, so I also did want a ground immunity besides Vikavolt, so I picked up Skarmory! Corviknight was taken at this point, so I had to settle for Skarmory. I think Skarmory's great. I think Skarmory's awesome because it gets Swords Dance, okay? With a 80 attack. And hey, I really wanted to use a Brave Bird Pokemon this season because Moltres has been popping in the ODO. So I had to draft this thing. It's just perfect. Perfect Pokemon. It's bulky, physically bulky. It's okay SPDF, okay HP. It's mainly there to tank physical hits, but against physical Pokemon, I could set up all day. And also, with 40 base special attack, Choice Specs Skarmory is always on the board, you know? It just gets hazards. I didn't really have a proper hazards Pokemon, which Scizor didn't have. So I really wanted to get this Pokemon. So yeah, that's why I picked it. It also gets weather, which is awesome. We love weather. Now my last draft Pokemon, I had 2 points left. I literally couldn't find any Pokemon that fit my team until I dropped Emboar and I realized I missed a pig, you know. The pig, having the pig on your side, having the pig on your draft, it felt good, you know. I loved Emboar, you know, until I dropped it because I didn't need it typing anymore. But we got Grumpig, the grumpy little pig. This mod, honestly, stats aren't bad. And I wanted a Pokemon, another Trick Room Pokemon. So, where is Trick Room? Trick Room's up here, right? Yeah, it gets Trick Room. It gets Trailblaze. I mean, it's not a physical attacker, but hey, to boost his speed, like, it's not horrid. Like, against a Swampert or something, I could see what I could do. Honestly, this Pokemon seems so fun. Also, against Size Spam, Expanding Force always a consideration. But this is kind of just a filler pick. I just needed another Pokemon on the draft, and I was like, Grumpig actually looks decent. And maybe I'll bring it. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Grumpig will have a good matchup. You'll never know. Wait, what does a shiny look like? It's yellow. Wait, this is beautiful. We are keeping. I might want to shiny this thing. This thing's actually cool. Wait. But yes, this is my draft for the ZDL Season 1 Draft League. I might as well tell you who my Week 1 opponent is because I've been referencing it and not saying it for some reason. My Week 1 opponent is Nick, the coach of the Troublemakers, a great friend of mine, which is why I totally forgot I drafted Hatterene in this draft league because in the ODL, I'm like, oh, I have Hatterene, so I can't have Hatterene in this league, right? But I don't know. I drafted it both times because it just was still on the board and I wanted it. My only dupe mon. So, so guys, I cannot wait for this draft league. I'm so excited to be in another Wi-Fi draft league. So guys, like I always say, see you all for the battle. Even though there's no battle happening after this. See you all for week 1.